Hi friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you don't know who I am, hi, my name is Elle and I am on my healing journey. So if you are too, please come and join me. Today, I want to talk about books that have completely changed my life. I'm like hyped up on caffeine right now. I usually don't allow myself too much caffeine because it kind of feels like I'm on drugs, which is why I like to drink caffeine. Okay, first things first, we'll start kind of boring. I am a licensed esthetician and integrative health practitioner, so I do incorporate a lot of internal wellness within my practice, not only for healthy skin, but I just feel like women don't know a lot of information on how to, I don't know, take care of themselves, be optimally healthy. I actually just think that in general, a lot of people, whether they know or don't know, for me, I didn't know how to be healthy. Even when I thought I was being healthy, I wasn't. And also it's just hard to be healthy in today's day and age where it's just like hustle culture, make money, work hard, like taking care of yourself is selfish. I don't subscribe to any of that, and you shouldn't either. But what you should subscribe to is this YouTube channel. What was I talking about? Oh, okay. So I took an integrative health practitioner certification, an IHP program, which kind of got my foot in the door with learning about toxins in the environment, eating healthy, clean sourcing of food, what else? Like managing stress, because stress affects your body as a whole. And then of course my phone probably heard that I was on this health kick. And so a lot of my social media became about foods like carnivore diet, seed oils, don't eat vegetables, like all this stuff. And I was just like, what? So I went through this phase where I just like bought a bunch of books and just read and researched a lot. And then I just kind of decided I would try and see what works for me and go with that. I feel like there's not one lifestyle that's cookie cutter for everyone because we all live different lives. Because I read so many books, I feel like this deep nutrition one did a perfect job of kind of like summarizing everything that I've learned, or I highlighted most in this book where I was like, oh, okay, cool. I want to note that. I like that it kind of talks about how our ancestors ate and how we don't fully rely on an ancestral diet. I almost said ancestral, because the hunter and gatherers were living a completely different life than we are now. But the basis of human health is kind of the same. So again, I kind of take everything with a grain of salt and just apply it to my life and see what works. And I encourage my clients and just people that I talk to do the same, especially people with different cultural background or just whatever it may be. I encourage people to make decisions for themselves and not be so heavily reliant on other people, because I did that for a while and I just got frustrated that I was just like, you were supposed to fix me, you're supposed to do this. And it's like, why do I lack trust in myself so much where I can't make decisions for myself? Which my therapist pointed out. Definitely didn't come to that conclusion on my own, but it's very true. Whether it's emotional or physical needs, I have felt very reliant on other people to make decisions for myself, because I just felt like when I used to make decisions in the past, they would get me in a lot of trouble, which built this idea in my head, possibly subconsciously, that I can't trust myself. And now that's gotten a lot better, and I'm very intuitive with working out and eating and taking care of my mental health and resting when I need and not worrying about what people think if I'm not being productive. Like if I need to rest, I'll rest. If I need to be super productive and it makes me feel good, I'll do that too. Just kind of like zeroing in on myself and noting what feels good like in my heart and in my body and just leaning in towards that with the guidance of professionals is helpful as well. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay, so this is just a great one if you just want to learn some basics of human health and nutrition and eating and kind of get you on the right path there. BRB, fan break. Okay, next up, Financial Feminist. This was actually gifted to me like 2 years ago and I never cracked it open. I don't know why. Maybe it intimidated me, or I just didn't want to take the leap of learning about finances because I just love to spend irresponsibly. I think this was very life-changing for me because I never really have looked at my finances. Like I spend money, I make money, and another form of my addictive personality is I like to spend money and get dopamine hits there. And to be honest, I really didn't think I was gonna live past 25. So the idea of like saving money, opening a 401k, retirement, never really crossed my mind. I'm lucky that I'm 27 and I actually have a will to live now. So I actually do want to be intentional with my finances and saving and setting myself up for success in the future. So hopefully I do live longer. I feel like it's just a great beginner book that's easy to comprehend as someone who doesn't understand anything about finances, has really never done any type of budgeting or saving before. And I like the fact that it's just not intimidating. It's very straightforward. It's like, start here. This is kind of what you want to do to set yourself up for the future. And so I think once I finish this book, I'm actually not even done with it yet. Already it got me thinking and being more intentional with how I spend my money and actually looking at my bank accounts, because I like never really did that. Like, why do I want to see the debt that I'm in? Like, not all debt is bad debt. I have my own business, so I'd be racking up those credit card points. But yeah, I don't know. I personally just feel like this book humbled me and it got me excited to learn more about finances. After I read this, I'll probably look up like YouTube videos and get more books just to learn more about like investing and setting myself up for the future and saving money. The thought of just like putting away and saving money is like so responsible. Probably why I haven't finished the book yet, because that means I'll have to like commit to what I read. And I just love being irresponsible. But I'm almost 30. 3 years. Is that traumatic that I say I'm almost 30? So I should probably like start adulting. One thing I will say is I've been an esthetician most of my like adult life for 5 years. And then the time before that, slash halfway through that, I was like trapping around in active addiction. So it's like no one taught me these things. No one taught me about investing. I've never worked a job that even offered me a 401k. Like being an esthetician working for small businesses, no benefits, none of that. So one, not only did I not know how to do it, it was kind of out of sight, out of mind, so I didn't do it either. And yeah, 3, like I said, it's like fuck savings. I just want to like spend my money on Amazon. So that's that. And then we have 2 books in regards to spirituality. These like genuinely have changed my life, because I personally feel that my relationship with God makes everything else just change through osmosis. Like if I'm in more alignment with God and I trust that there's a plan and I'm not in fear and I don't need these dopamine hits of shopping, my finances are better. When I live in gratitude and I just am open to the fact that abundance can flow through me rather than being in such a negative mindset like why me, and just being so scarcity about money, like I feel like the abundance just flows and I can't even explain how it happens. It's not even like A plus B equals C. Like I've been saying recently, I'm reaching out to small businesses to collab with my small business, and it's like I haven't really gotten any emails back, but randomly I had like 3 guests book that week for facials. So it's just like, to me, that's just like God working in my life of like bringing in abundance where I can love people and also make money at the same time to take care of my bills. So building my spirituality and my relationship with God has been huge. I like tried reading the Bible a little bit and it just feels really intense for me in this moment of time. Feels like illegal to say. And I just like don't really get it. There's like some little blurbs where I'm like, cute, I love that saying. But I haven't really shifted through that one yet. I always say that I'm more spiritual rather than religious. And I think it's really cool that I found God as I started getting sober, not so much in a church. I actually haven't been to church since I was like 10. I think that's such the beautiful thing about relationships with God, is it can look any different way. Anyway, anxious for nothing. I had the balls to post my sobriety story, or I guess I talked a little bit about it in my healing journey story. So these 2 videos that I previously have posted, well, maybe one, hopefully I posted, I talk a lot about how I'm an anxious girl. Not even like anxiety, like, oh my God, I'm so stressed, I had like a test. Like no, like panic attacks where I'm like sweating and throwing up and clawing at my skin because I feel so uncomfortable in my body. I am on Lexapro right now, which I went on a couple years ago because the panic attacks I just could not manage at all. I think I was like 6 months sober, and I've actually started weaning off, which is cool. I'm not putting too much pressure on the process. I just know that I hopefully don't want to be on SSRIs forever. But again, I think a lot of my anxiety, which I didn't even realize, came from this fear and lack of control. Like it's just like impending doom. This dark cloud always felt like it was around me. And I feel like building this relationship with God has helped a lot. And this was really just like the frosting on the cake, the cherry on top. Side note, I love the white sheet cake from Vaughn's or Safeway. I actually have no words. I think that is quite literally the best thing to be invented. This actually does have stuff from the Bible in it, and it talks about Jesus and stuff. But for some reason, I just felt like this read was really easy and it didn't feel very religious, and I could kind of take what I wanted and leave the rest. Okay, fan break. This studio light, or I don't know what is so hot in here, but she is sweating. Maybe it's just all the caffeine that I've had today. Basically, if I could summarize this book in one sentence, it would be like, faith kicks out anxiety, because anxiety comes from lack of control and fear most of the time. But if you trust God, you're giving your control to God. You believe that you will be okay. That is faith no matter what. You don't know what the future holds, and that can be scary and lead to fear, and you want to control it. When you surrender it all to God, it's like, actually, what could I be anxious about if I fully trust you with my life and the plan of life? Like if I'm afraid that things aren't going to work out the way I want, not being in alignment with God. God knows my best interest. I don't. And I know that for a fact. I'll get things that I want and I'm like, damn, yeah, I didn't really want that actually. Or things that don't work out, there's something better that happens after. And not to be all like gumdrops and rainbows, because life is hard. Not always hard, but that's the point of like the human experience, is we grow through pain. We get strength through these difficult times. times. And for me, these difficult times that I've gone through the past couple months has driven me straight to God. And now I just feel more at peace with these things that I've been just spiraling about, because it's like, I'm not in control. If I'm truly connecting with God and practicing these spiritual things that I do, like I do feel like there's a weight lifted off my shoulder. Like genuinely, there's no room for fear if you have an abundance of faith. It's just kind of how it works. Again, it's not to say that we're not gonna have fear or anxiety walking through life. Like, we're human, that we're designed to be like that, and God doesn't get mad at us for that. Me personally, I just have to continue to give it over, my will over to God, and have him do what he wants with me while I'm here on this earth. Okay, segueing into another book about spirituality. Again, I'm not fully done with this, but the beginning of this book has like shook me to my core. It's called The Simple Power of Prayer. Also, not to be dramatic, but I feel like the lighting of this video has been changing throughout the whole time, and it's kind of making me want to have a meltdown. She says right after talking about faith in God and letting go of fear and control, I just spit while I said that. Anyway, this has just completely changed my perspective on prayer. I pray more for my internal self rather than my external circumstances, if that makes sense. So for example, I've been thugging out an acne journey more intensely the past couple months, where it's really triggered a lot of like OCD and just like manic episodes that have felt so unmanageable. And I've had acne for about 8 years, and I just kept praying like, God, clear my skin. Like, I can't take this anymore. Like, heal me, heal me. Like, you're God, as if I'm like owed anything, you know, which is humbling. And now I pray for just peace about the situation and ask God for strength to get through this mental difficulty that I'm going through. And I ask God to help me financially, and not in a way where I'm like, I want more money, in a way where when I get all crazy and frantic and a scarcity mindset about my skin, and I'm like, I need to fix it now because I don't feel good, I'll just be like swiping that credit card. And honestly, like, I put a lot of money on my credit card that I still had acne after, and I was just like, it was an uncontrollable compulsion, and I asked God to help me with that. And this past month, I really haven't spent any money on my skin like I normally would have, like frantically booking appointments or buying products or just treatments, whatever it may be. I haven't done that since I started changing my prayer and asking for just peace in my heart, because at the end of the day, like, it really doesn't matter if I have acne. Not to invalidate how shitty it is having acne, but it's like, if this is my hardest thing that I have to go through each day, it's difficult, but like, we all go through struggles as humans, and you could say that I'm grateful that that's the one that I'm going through, because it's like, God doesn't care that I have acne, you know? Like, I believe that God loves us unconditionally. That's the whole gag of him, is that we are just loved as we are, even in the good and in the bad. So I learned that from the book, is praying more about my internal self and like my soul and my heart to an extent. Like, I pray for peace on my heart rather than trying to change the external things, because God's gonna take care of the external things. Like, if I truly have faith about money, about my acne, about getting booked in my business, I can pray about it. I believe that prayer is open for me to be who I am and express myself. But I just kind of now, after reading this book, I'm kind of like, God's listening to my prayers like, girl, I'm handling it. Like, you don't need to tell me that you need to pay rent. Like, girl, I know you need to pay rent, and I'll take care of you. So it's kind of like, okay, if I believe that you're just gonna take care of all these external things, then show me how I can just be patient and trust your process and live in your will and be helpful to other people and not so focused on what's going on with me. And it's made me feel so much better, just like inside, and calmer. Another thing too that I read, I think it was in this book, when I'm always praying for more. I want more money, I want this, I want this. First of all, God's not a magic genie, so I had to like let that one go, where I'm like, okay, God, you know, show me what you can do. Like, no. And also, because my MO is to be so negative and Debbie Downer, it's like, I can find anything to complain about. And I read in here, like, God wants us to be abundant and give us everything and more. Like, the gifts of God, materialistic, tangible, and internal, are just like limitless. That's what I believe. And it said, like, why would God give us more to murmur about? So if you're complaining about everything in your life already, why would God give you more to complain about? Not so much as a punishment, but it's like, you're not even grateful or can handle what you have now, so you think you want more, but it's like, you'll just find new problems with more that comes. It's kind of how I interpret it, and like, for myself, I'm like, true, I'll really bitch about anything. So what this book talks about is just like leaning your prayer with gratitude, or just thanking God all the time. It's kind of what I interpret it to be. Like, when anything happens the past couple weeks, okay, I'm not doing it perfectly. That was kind of like a lie. But even when I'm like, and I think I said this in a different video, even when I'm driving to work, I'm like, thank you for my car and gas that's in the tank. It's something that I take for granted. Like, thank you for food in the fridge and the fact that I like bougie foods, cleaner, more expensive ones. I'm grateful for my stuffed animals, for these books. This book randomly came across, I found this at a thrift store. It just like, I just got it and I feel like it was God plopped it in front of me and is speaking to me through this book. I have like healthy hands, a healthy body that I can go to work. Just these things that I take for granted. I feel entitled for full clients and, you know, making all this money. Like, I'm not entitled to shit. And just the little things, like even having just like silverware that's clean. I heard someone once say like, because I hate doing dishes, like not even messing around. I fucking hate doing dishes and laundry. I'm just like not a domestic housewife at all. And it's like, I'm so grateful that there are dishes to clean. Like I have dishes, and it's like, it's so true. Like I have dishes and food to put on the table. It's like things that I think I'm owed as a human. And it's like, there's people that don't have that, right? So every little thing I try to thank God for in the moment, and it's been helping me a lot. Because it's like when I'm thanking God for all these things, it's really hard to be like wah wah wah. No, like I just feel like it's hard to be in gratitude and be in a pissy mood at the same time. Again, doesn't work perfectly all the time. It's all just a practice. So this is just a great book of helping me learn of how to communicate with God. Again, it's kind of, I don't know if she's like Christian or what, but there's kind of some Jesus stuff in there. I just take what I want and leave the rest, and it's been very powerful to me, and I felt more connected with God since I picked up this book, and for some other reasons, but this specifically, my communication with God has changed, and I've just felt more at peace about my external life because of it. Okay, here we are to book number 5 as I'm soaking wet with sweat. I don't know if I would say that this has changed my life, but it kind of has changed my life. Smut books. I read them before bed. I kind of thought they were like a joke, you know, when it's like the book of Fabio and he saves her and he's so sexy. No, that shit's real. My favorite genre is 3 to 4 mafia brothers that are in love with one girl, and most of the time she gets kidnapped and they have to save her and go through the trenches, and they will not stop until they find her because they love her so much. I just love a good like group situation, mafia brothers type of thing. It's just, I love the plot line. They're saucy. Also, if you're my mother or like a man or anyone that's not cool. Wait, not that they're not cool, but just like, you don't need to know that I'm reading these, she says as she posts it on YouTube for literally anyone to see. I've just been really enjoying reading crazy smut books before bed, okay? And the reason why it's life-changing is because that's crazy. It's because I read them before bed and it helps me wind down, actually, like not looking at my phone before bed. Or what else did I used to do before bed? I swear there's always a fucking leaf blower or someone doing construction outside my window. So let's just wrap up this video because anyway, I've read like every single night before bed for months, and it really helps me wind down, and they're not boring books. And also, I hate to read like a self-help book before bed or something that's like educational. Like, no, I want something kind of light, but also something kind of intense. Just, it gets me to read. Sorry, it's the truth. The smuttiness gets me to read. Because I've taken a break from reading educational books because I was kind of like losing my mind obsessing about like health and being better and blah, blah, blah. So sometimes you kind of just need to read about a gangbang. Are you allowed to say that on YouTube? I should probably cut that out. Am I going to? Probably not. Anyway, I don't need to like actually further go more into detail on that. I just, yeah, wanted to share that information with you. And there you have it, 5 books that have changed my life. If you have any book recommendations, drop them down in the comments, and just like this video because it makes me happy. Okay, bye, love you.